Coach, this is two back-to-back blowout wins. How do you carry this momentum into Bedlam this weekend?
Well, I think the biggest thing for Bedlam is that, one, I'm excited that we're playing again. I think that's really big for us. I love that for our state. There's so much national attention on this game because it's two really good teams that I hope that we just sell it out. I really do. I hope a lot of people come and watch it. We're trying to really grow our sport here in Oklahoma, so it's really good for our sport. As far as our game, I love the balance that we had. I like, when we can have balance in minutes and points and all the things. It's really fun. So this was really good for us tonight. And then we got one day to get ready for Saturday.
Jennie, you looked like your offense was in a pretty good flow tonight. Did you feel like it was?
You know what? I thought we actually got some really good looks. We didn't necessarily finish all that well in the fourth quarter, but that's okay. We'll navigate that. But I do think that especially the second quarter, I thought we really turned it up defensively, which really helped us offensively. But no, I thought we did a great job of trying to set each other up, and I thought we made some really, some good reads and put people in, tried to put people in really good positions. We're still kind of going for some home runs, which that's what we do sometimes. But no, you can tell we're getting better, and you can definitely tell our younger players are getting a lot more experience.
It's a huge night for you, obviously. Just what worked, and where do you think that from opening night to now you've made the biggest growth this year?
That's a good question. Probably just like trying to really pour into my teammates. I feel like when I do more of that, it just like the game comes like easier to me. I just see myself like being able to make good defensive plays and then set up my teammates and then maybe even like get myself open. So just trying to do that, I feel like that's been the difference for me.
That led to some good shots for you, though, didn't it? I mean, because they got the ball back to you and some pretty good spots it looked like.
Yeah, I would say so. I think just trying to get in the open spots and just where I know my teammates will try and see me. I think that's been the biggest thing. Just trying to get in the right spots.
How much more, maybe ownership is the wrong word, but ownership of this offense do you feel like you have, not having like asserting yourself into the offense as opposed to just kind of like filling a spot and just trying to smooth everything over like it looked like at times maybe last year?
This year compared to last year, I feel like I have a bigger role kind of in a way. And so I feel like just really trying to like set my teammates up and just even if I don't have the ball in my hands, whether it's like setting screens and stuff like that, I just think there's a lot of ways to set people up. And so, yeah.
Jennie, how did you feel your bench played tonight?
Well, I want to kind of talk about Zaya here for a second too, because I think she's like kind of underestimating it, but Zaya, I'm like probably really hard on Zaya. I was hard on her sister and probably harder on her. You can tell her I said that. But I think she's just done a great job of knowing that she sets the tone defensively for us, knowing that she sets the tone, between her and Aaliyah. They really do a good job of trying to get everybody in the right spaces and making sure that we're trying to play at the pace and we're trying to do things. And she takes a lot of ownership. She's very, very coachable. A lot of times players don't want to hear some of the things that we have to say. She does, and she wants to be really good. She'll watch film. She gets in the gym. She works. I think she has done a great job of being an incredible example for our freshmen and for, one of her best friends in Kaya Smith. So when you talk about the bench, I think Zaya is a huge part of that. I think we have always relied on a bench. We've always relied on a good bench, and that's something that we've had to really develop this year. And it's not developing in terms of talent. It's developing in terms of experience, and there's a difference. But there's also a difference when there's game lights on than when there aren't. And so you can see that our bench has continued to develop and continuing to get better and continuing to do things that we need them to do. And I think the thing that's very unique about our team is that everybody is different. Everybody brings something different, but they bring more than one thing. We don't have somebody that's a shooter that comes in. We don't have somebody that is just a defender that comes in, or a screener or a rebounder. They all have different skill sets, and yet they do multiple things. That's what we want in this program. I think Zaya is no different. I think everyone on our bench is no different. It's just getting that experience.
Jennie just talked talked about, you said it defensively. When you look at, I don't know how much prep you've done for Saturday yet, but a team that spreads it out and shoots is pretty good. Like, how much do you look forward to perimeter defense is going to be a huge part of Saturday's game?
Yeah, I think honestly, I think defense, like the best defensive team, will probably end up winning that game. And I'm so excited. I love playing defense. I feel like it really fuels my offense, and it just fuels our offense as a whole. And so I just think that we need to really like lock in this tomorrow in practice, and just really focus on our defense. And then Saturday, really just lock in on defense. And
Throughout your career, is there anyone that you've looked up to as far as whether pro player or anything that you're like, they just get after it on defense, and that's what I want to like model my defensive intensity after?
Yes, but I'm trying to think. Probably Kelsey Plum or what's her name? Indiana Fever. What's her name?
Talking about Kelsey Mitchell.
Kelsey Mitchell, yes, and Kelsey Mitchell, yes. I feel like both of them, I feel like they work really hard on defense, especially Kelsey Mitchell. And yeah, so that's kind of who I model my game after.
Anything else, guys?
Jennie, I know that Saturday's not like the end point by any means, but just from your first big non-conference test to maybe your last big one before you really roll into SEC play, where do you feel like the biggest area of growth has been that you're kind of excited to see that be put to the test again on Saturday?
I think Zaya nailed it. I think defensively is going to be huge for us. And I think mostly defensively because it can really get us into an offensive flow. And I think our bench has continued to grow and continued to get better. So we had a obviously big couple tests to start the season. We just had, NC State a week ago, where we kind of let each other down. I thought our team, we didn't necessarily play great team basketball that game, and a lot of that's because they can really isolate you and go one-on-one. And so when you're talking about spacing out and shooters, you got to play really good team defense. So I think from that standpoint, and you got to be able to out-team teams, right? That's what we're going to have to be able to do. And we've got really good talent. We've got really good players. We don't have as much experience as a lot of other teams do in terms of years, but what we do have is pretty dang good. So we've got to make sure that we bring our A game whenever you go, but especially in this kind of a game.
Cool. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, Boomer.